Hello everyone, this is Orlando from A Collector's Dream. And today we're going to talk about one of my favorite players, and that's the Cuban Comet, Minnie Minoso. So what I want to do today is just kind of show some cards of Minnie Minoso and talk a little bit about him. And this is his rookie card. This is from the 46-47 Caramelo Deportivo. And this was a card was made in Cuba. And this was back when he first started. This is his rookie. This is 1945, and early in his career. I mean, he was born in 1923, and early in his career, he played in Cuba, of course, for the Marianao team, and he also played for the New York Cubans a little bit later. So, a little bit about his. Take a good look at his. Go ahead and just kind of focus down so you can get a good look at his rookie card here. Not in the greatest condition, but it's still his rookie card, and it's a pretty rare card. And he played professional baseball as a third baseman in Cuba and in the Negro Leagues. He signed a contract with the team from Marianao in 1945, and this is the card. This is Marianao. And in 1945, he was making $150 a month. And then he moved to the Negro Leagues and played with the New York Cubans. Now, with the New York Cubans, he was a star there. And his salary was doubled what he was getting paid in Cuba. And, he was a leadoff hitter with the New York Cubans. And he batted .309 in 1946 and followed up with a .294 average in 1947 as the New York Cubans won the Negro League World Series over the Cleveland Buckeyes. And he was the starting third baseman, and he also was the starting third baseman for the 1947 All-Star game, the Negro All-Star game. So this was him in 1945. This is the back of the card. And the back, these cards are very, very thin, paper thin. They were stuck on albums, but you can see Orestes Minoso says infielder. Then it says that he played also professional. He played his first year as a professional. And this came from the Caramelo Deportivo. So that's his first year. So after his first year, again, he played in Cuba 45, 46. And then in 1946 and 47, he went to play for the Negro Leagues. And this was his second year card from the Cuban issue, the Caramelo Deportivo. And here he is again. There's Minnie with his Marianao uniform there. And this was at the stadium in Cuba. And we'll go ahead and take another good look at that card here as I talk a little bit more about Minoso. So this second year card is very, very tough to find. One of the rarest cards for Minoso. So basically, he was an incredible player. He remained with the Cubans until signing with the Cleveland Indians in 1948, and that's when he finally came to play in American, in the National League, in the actual, American League, in the major leagues. So he played in the minor leagues. First with Cleveland organization, and he played with the Dayton Indians of the Central League, and in that league he batted .525. So after batting .525 in the minor leagues for the Indians, he was called up in early 1949, and he was the first black Cuban or the first black Hispanic to play in the major leagues. And I want to kind of show you his major league plaque here real quick. So that's his Hall of Fame plaque. So his Hall of Fame plaque says, his complete name, which in Cuba they had a lot of names, but it's Orestes Minoso. Minnie was his nickname, and the Cuban Comet. And funny thing, because he was called the Cuban Comet, back in the early, late 40s when he came on to with the Indians. And how that relates to one of my favorite players, Mickey Mantle, is that Mickey Mantle was named the Commerce Comet after Minnie Minoso was named the Cuban Comet. So that's a story that I read earlier, that the Cuban Comet, and then Mickey Mantle, they named him the Commerce Comet. So that's another one of the nickname. But anyway, he played for New York Negro League. You can see that from 46 to 48. Played in Cleveland, played in Chicago, and then at the end played in St. Louis and Washington. It says he's an electrifying left fielder from Cuba. He blazed a path for generations of Latino ball players to follow as the first dark-skinned Latin American player in the American League or National League. He lifted the Negro National League New York Cubans to the 1947 championship before setting American League ablaze with his base running and clutch hitting for the Go-Go White Sox of the 1950s. He led the American League in stolen bases 3 times and in triples 3 times from 1951 to 1961. While earning 9 All-Star Game selections and 3 Gold Glove awards, he returned to the White Sox to extend his big league career into 5 different decades. Only the second player to ever do that. Across 20 major league seasons, he hit .299 with 195 home runs, 216 steals, and .387 on-base percentage. And in the 50s, the players that stole, he was the early base stealer back in the early days. And during the 50s, him and Willie Mays were the 2 top base stealers. I think Willie had like 160 something, and Minoso had 150 something stolen bases during that time, which was the most around that time. So after he left the New York Cubans and he came to the Indians, the Indians ended up trading him in a 3-way deal to the Athletics. So he finally came to the White Sox. So this is his rookie card, 1952 Bowman, Minnie Minoso, when he came with the White Sox. That's his rookie card. And we'll take a look at the back of that card also. So it just talks about he went to the White Sox from the Indians after the start of the 1951 season, regarded as many as the outstanding rookie in the league. He had a .326 batting average, second best in the circuit. He led in triples, stolen bases, hit 10 home runs and 34 doubles, and batted in 76 runs. So that's Minnie Minoso, his first year with the White Sox, with the Go-Go Sox. And he became the first black player on the White Sox. And his first time at bat in Comiskey Field, he hit a 415-foot home run on the first pitch of the first at-bat against the New York Yankees. Well, he became an instant star. He maintained a batting average over .350 through most of the first half of the season, and he finished the season with a .324 batting average, second in the American League behind Ferris Fain. Minoso was named for the first time to the American League All-Star roster, becoming, along with the teammates Chico Carrasquel and Connie Morera, one of the first Latin Americans ever named to an All-Star team. That year he scored 112 runs, 1 short of Dom DiMaggio's league-leading total. In 138 games played, he topped the league with 14 triples and 31 stolen bases. And he became known as Mr. White Sox following the 51 season. He finished second in the American League's Rookie of the Year voting. And he also was in the Most Valuable Player voting. He ended up 4th in the Most Valuable Player. He was regarded as such an outstanding all-around player that the Yankees outfielder Mickey Mantle acquired the nickname the Commerce Comet because he reminded observers of the Cuban Comet. So Minoso played many years, several years with Chicago. He led the league in steals in 1952 and 1953, and he topped the league with 18 triples and 304 total bases in 1954. On opening day, he provided the only hit, the White Sox, in a 4-0 loss to Bob Lemon. And he became a power threat for the White Sox due to the dimensions of Comiskey Park. So here is his other rookie card, the 1952 Topps, Minnie Minoso in a 5. Take a good look at that beautiful card of Minnie Minoso. And that's Minnie Minoso with the White Sox, 1952 Topps. And here's the back of the card. And it talks about it in his first game, and that's what I was just talking about. His first game with the Indians in 1949, Minnie clouded a home run and did the same thing in his first time at bat with the White Sox in 51. So it talks about him there. We'll go ahead and put that card here. Take a look at that one. See if I can squeeze them all in. I'll give you a good look at that one. I'll give you a good look at the other one. So basically, he was one of the top players for the White Sox. He guided them to a World Series, and he played in those days with Larry Doby, and he came in right after Larry Doby. So they were the two black guys that played with the White Sox at the time, and Minoso was the first one with the White Sox. So anyway, he had a long career, extremely long career, and here's a few more of his cards, and we'll talk about it. He was inducted in the Hall of Fame in he became eligible in 1970, but he was inducted a little bit later. I have to see when he was inducted. I'm not real sure, but it was after that. He was inducted in 2022, so he was just recently inducted. So this is his 1953 Topps card, and I picked that one up at the National, and I had it graded and came out of 5. So that's the Minoso 53, one of the nicest cards of Minoso. And there he is here. There's 22 stolen bases and 52 made him the leading base stealer. So that's that one here. And he played for the Indians, the White Sox, back with the Indians, back with the White Sox. Then he went with the Cardinals, then the Senators, and then back with the White Sox, where he finished his career. Some of the highlights of his career was that he was a 2-time Negro League All-Star. Here is his 1953 Bowman card autographed. And that's one of his most beautiful cards with a beautiful pose. And that is autographed right along the bat there. He was a 9-time All-Star. He won the Negro World Series. Of course, he won the World Series with the White Sox. He had 3-time Gold Glove Award winner, 3-time stolen base leader, and his number 9 was retired by the White Sox. And so he was elected into the Hall of Fame with about 88% of the vote. His lifetime batting average is .299, and he was just an incredible player, incredible hitter, and he had to play during those times with just like Jackie, just like Larry Doby. He came in right after them, so he was he had to go through all the issues that everybody else did. That's the back of the card there. So that's the 1953 Bowman. So I'll look at a couple more cards from Minnie. We'll take a look at the 1959 Minnie Minoso, and with the Indians here. That's the back of the card. And I don't have all of his cards. I do have most of them, but of course they're not graded. So really what I like to do a lot of the times is I like to start off when I'm collecting a player run, usually I'll try to collect some of the tougher cards first. Just like when you build a set and you want to collect the all-star players or the Hall of Fame players first, same thing, you know, when I'm collecting player runs, I mean, I can get the cards from the 60s and stuff anytime, but the cards from the 50s are the tougher ones. So I try to get those first. And that's the 1961, a beautiful 61 Minoso there. And that's the back of that one here. So I'll give you a good look at that. And a couple more. Here's a 1963 Minoso. There he is. This is with the Cardinals. We went to play with the Cardinals. It's another nice card of Minnie. And there he is with his stolen bases, and there's the back with some of his record. At that time he had a 303 average, ended up with a 299. 13 years here he had played, as you can see here. And the last card I want to show is one that has his complete stats, and it's, I think, probably his last playing days, technically playing days card. And this is a White Sox issued card. It's a True Value promo card from 1980. And it says $8. I got that free from my buddy. He gave me this card. But what it shows is, it's from 1980, and it shows his last at bat here. 1980, and he came up to bat. So it shows here all his stats. It shows here when he came up with Cleveland, 1949, with Chicago. And then you could see that he started in 1949, 1950s, 1960s. Then he came up to bat in 1970, and he got a hit. He played 3 games in 1976. And then in 1980, he played 2 games, and he came up to bat twice, but he wasn't able to get a hit. But that made him a player for 5 decades. He played in 5 different decades. So that's, you can see his batting average is 298, but actually it was 299. So that is basically his last playing days. It was a True Value White Sox promotional issue back in 1980 when he made his final at bat in the major leagues. So anyway, guys, that's a little bit about Minnie Minoso. Wanted to share some of his cards with you. Get a good look at some of the player run that I have here with his rookie cards. With his rookie cards and the autograph and a few of the other cards that he's got. So wanted to just share a little bit about the Cuban Comet, one of the best players ever in the history of Cuba, and one of the best players ever for the Chicago White Sox. So thank you guys. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. Please like and subscribe, and leave me a comment or any stories that you may have about Minnie Minoso, anything that you've heard that you can add to some of the things that I said. I really appreciate all you guys watching. Really enjoy the comments, and that's what I'm looking forward to. So thank you so much, everyone. Have an awesome day. Thanks for looking at my Minnie Minoso mini run here, and I appreciate everyone watching. Have an awesome day. This is Orlando from A Collector's Dream, and I'll catch you on the next one.